Hey, good afternoon. I wanted to talk about the passing of Pope Francis. He he was a good, humble, kind man. He was really good for the Catholic Church, and his passing was sad, but not all that unexpected. He was a sick man. If you remember, he was in the hospital for about a month ago, very ill, respiratory failure, double pneumonia. He was on a respirator for a little bit, and the doctors discharged him, but told him to rest and avoid crowds. And if you saw him on Easter weekend, he did anything but. Uh, he's Holy Saturday. What I saw is he went to a prison actually, and blessed the prisoners, and to see the prisoners bow to him and kiss his hand, it was actually quite emotional. But that's who he was. He really embraced the forgotten, or the less than. You don't want to say that, but people who are marginalized, he really embraced, and that was a beautiful thing about that man. And on Easter Sunday, as you saw, he was in his Pope Mobile blessing people in the Vatican. And what a beautiful thing for people in the Vatican. They'll never forget that, to know that he was blessed by the Pope, and 24 hours later he would have been dead. He would have died. So you could see on the balcony that he was very frail, and he could barely get the breath out to give the blessing. But he did. He did say a few words, and he passed the reading of the blessing on to somebody else. But at the end of it, you could see he was breathless, and I actually think you could see, like, I'm done, I'm spent. So I've been asked, can people will themselves to live and to die? And being in hospice, I've seen both. I've seen people, I would say, will themselves to die, not as dramatically saying, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to die. I've seen people kind of check out. I'm not eating, I'm not drinking, but withdrawing, and died shortly thereeafter. I have seen people will themselves to live. Sometimes I was like, how is this person still alive? They're either waiting for somebody, they're waiting for a date, a birth date, an anniversary, the birth of something, but something is keeping them alive. And on the other hand, sometimes they're waiting for somebody to leave. I've seen that too. So being the Pope and wanting to stick around for the Easter celebration and to give a blessing, do I think that the Pope knowingly or unknowingly willed himself to live? I kind of do. And how lucky is that for us? Um, and to die on Easter Monday, the day after this is all over, it just seems you couldn't write a better script than that. How beautiful that he was able to do that. And then I heard he went back to his residence with his nurse. Stripetto, who has been his nurse for quite a while, and gave thanks, and actually asked if he thought he was up to giving the blessing in the Vatican, and I guess he said yes, and he thanked him afterwards. And so I'm sure after he gave the blessing on the balcony, he went back with his nurse, and I'm sure they had oxygen waiting for him. Went back to his residence, had a light dinner, and then a few hours later, he was unresponsive. So being in the hospital and being so sick, I'm sure he had a DNR that wasn't publicized, and I didn't see that, but I'm sure he had a DNR. Don't even know what the protocol in Rome is. But what I've been reading is the nurse was present, the doctor present, he was unresponsive, and the Pope's wishes were to die at home. So I would say that a DNR was in place. So God bless him. The next step is the conclave. I watched the movie, by the way. It's interesting. I'd recommend it. have to pay attention. The ending kind of took me by surprise, but let me know what you think. So the next is the conclave, and I really pray for the cardinals to elect somebody progressive, or more progressive than St. Francis. The Catholic Church needs it. We need all people, all Catholics, to feel welcome and accepted in the Catholic Church. And now, I have to say, we don't. So we need to do better. So whoever is elected, our next Pope, has big shoes to fill. So thank you, Pope Francis, for all you've done. And may he rest in peace, and may perpetual light shine upon him. Talk soon.